to you by Dettol. Back to school.
ये आइसक्रीम मैं अपने मजे के लिए नहीं खा रहा, ये खा रहा हूँ ताकि पिच ठंडी हो जाए। कल जब हमने देखा था अफगानिस्तान ने जब बॉलिंग की तो बॉल स्विंग भी हो रहा था, सीम भी हो रहा था, वो आज अब नहीं चाहते। वही पिच है, थोड़ी सी ऐसे लग रहा है कि आज ज्यादा ड्राई है तो उस किस्म की सीम मूवमेंट शायद ना मिले, बैटिंग के लिए थोड़ी सी बेहतर होगी, ये मैं जरूर कह सकता हूँ। बाकी रह गया बैटिंग फर्स्ट, तो जो आखिरी दफा यहाँ पे कोई टीम मैच जीती थी वो थी न्यूजीलैंड। स्कॉटलैंड के खिलाफ लगभग 172 किया था और वो उन्होंने डिफेंड कर लिया था। रही बात इंडिया पाकिस्तान के मैच की, तो मेरा सिर्फ एक ही मशवरा है, टेंशन नहीं लेनी, टेंशन नहीं लेनी, ठंड रख।
Thank you very much, Barzid. That ice cream will be melting very quickly because it's 37 degrees at the moment. Not too humid, only 33%, but it's going to be hard work out there. Plenty of water taken on board. We'll wait to see whether there's any dew.
Pitch and weather brought to you by Dettol. Back to school.
So it's the same pitch that was used yesterday in the game between Afghanistan and Bangladesh, which seemed quite a bit, and we saw a lot of swing as well, Marvin. But it looks like, as Baz has said, there's a bit less grass on this one.
I'm sure if they're playing on the same wicket as we see now, it has to be a less drier. So it should be drier, and then see. But we talk about seamers getting into the game very early, but we shouldn't forget that it was swing that troubled the Sri Lankan batsman, not seam.
Okay, well, let's get back out to our men on the ground then, Bazid and Zoaib. Hopefully they can still hear us, as I'm sure the crowd is pouring in. Baz, did you manage to finish that ice cream before it melted?
No chance. I was almost tempted to spill the ice cream across good length and make sure that India bat first.
So, you know, I would have paid good money to have seen that. Shame you didn't do it. Listen, we want to talk about Mohammad Rizwan. We've just talked about Surya Kumar Yadav, two batsmen who perhaps you don't think of first in terms of players to talk about in either side, but Rizwan has been absolutely superb, hasn't he, over the last year and a bit. He has fitted into that opening slot like a duck to water.
Yeah, absolutely. He's once he's gone up the order, he's a completely different T20 player as well, and he's added a few shots to his repertoire. He's very good leg side, so whenever he needs a boundary, he goes to that almost a half sweep, half pull, which he drags leg side. So that makes him quite a potent player. And with Babar, they get a lot of starts, score a lot of runs this past couple of years, and Pakistan depend on them. $200 or 220 is required. So chasing, they can pace the innings really well, but batting first, and you got to get 220. You need to go hard all throughout the innings. So even if Rizwan and Babar have a big partnership, it tends to be a problem at the back end because you leave runs out there. You cannot do that here in Dubai because we know chasing is the preferred option.
And I think An interesting one because the consistency at the top order is why it looks a bit of an issue for Pakistan at the moment is because of the strike rate at the top. If you're scoring at a healthy strike rate in T20s, they say things over 130 is more desirable, and sometimes like even the class act of Babar Azam comes under a bit of criticism that he doesn't score at a very high strike rate. So if they're scoring at higher strike rate, then maybe it does not cost Pakistan much. But at the moment, even if Babar is scoring 60 or 70, and for the middle order you're only left with 5 or 6 overs, then it is a cause for concern of putting in a big total.
Great stuff, guys. Cannot wait for the battle between Pakistani opening batsman and the likes of Bhuvneshwar Kumar. After the break, we are going to talk, though, about Virat Kohli, who is on the verge of playing his 100th T20 international. If he does that, he'll become only the second man to play 100 games in all 3 international formats.
फेवरेट सनसिल्क शैम्पू अब हुआ और भी बेहतर, जो दे आपको शाइनी, घनी और खूबसूरत बाल नए सनसिल्क सुपर मिक्स के साथ।
धुआं न उठे और आग भी न फैले, ले आए न्यू एज स्मार्ट लो स्मोक जीरो हैलोजन केबल्स, wires that resist fire propagation.
Fragrances for him and her by Bonanza Satrangi.
दोस्ती की इसी मिठास के लिए बना है कैंडी, जिसमें है ब्राउन और व्हाइट शुगर और कैरामल की खास मिठास। कैंडी में वो खास मिठास है जो किसी और में कहां।
आ गया नया एरियल ब्लू फॉर्मूले के साथ, जो गिराएगा धूल, मिट्टी और पसीने के दागों की हर दीवार।
Amreli Steels, 50 years solid.
हमारा मिल्क फील्ड
पाकिस्तान के सबसे बेहतरीन फार्म्स में बना। मिल्क फील्ड्स फ्रॉम नेचर टू यू।
अपनों को रखना है अगर 10 गुना महफूज, तो बदलनी होगी साबुन की आदत। डेटॉल लिक्विड हैंड वॉश दे साबुन के मुकाबले में 10 गुना बेहतर तहफ़्फ़ुज़।
Fragrances for him and her by Bonanza Satrangi.
उफ, ये रोड्स यार।
जर्मन टेक्नोलॉजी वाले सर्विस टाइल्स लगवाओ, क्योंकि ग्रिप सर्विस जैसी तो फिक्र कैसी।
ट्रस्ट तो मस्ट है।
आपका फेवरेट सनसिल्क शैम्पू अब हुआ और भी बेहतर, जो दे आपको शाइनी, घनी और खूबसूरत बाल नए सनसिल्क सुपर मिक्स के साथ।
हर सुबह इन्हें लंच बॉक्स में देती हूँ ऑलपर्स फ्लेवर्ड में। ऑलपर्स दूध की भरपूर ग़िज़ाइयत, चॉकलेट, स्ट्रॉबेरी और बादाम ज़ाफ़रान के मजेदार फ्लेवर्स में।
आ गया नया एरियल ब्लू फॉर्मूले के साथ, जो गिराएगा धूल, मिट्टी और पसीने के दागों की हर दीवार।
Fragrances for him and her by Bonanza Satrangi.
अपनों को रखना है अगर 10 गुना महफूज, तो बदलनी होगी साबुन की आदत।
hot sun at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, a stadium which they have very fond memories at, not least almost a year ago in that fantastic 10-wicket win against India at the T20 World Cup. That is what all Pakistani players and all Pakistani fans right now will be looking towards. Can they replicate something along the lines of this? Well, what they did, well, first of all, was win the toss in this game, and Shaheen Shah Afridi was brilliant in the first few overs, getting out KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma cheaply. 151 India made. Pakistan knocked it off, none down, with 2.1 overs to spare. Rizwan 79 not out, Baba 68 not out. We'll get on to the toss in just a moment, but I want to talk about Virat Kohli. First of all, Ajit, fantastic achievement if he plays today. There'll be his 100th T20 international to play 100 games in all three formats. So brilliant day for him, but is he still 100% guaranteed to start in the T20 11?
Certainly today, there's no doubt about it. Now that they've picked him, he didn't go to the West Indies, took a break. So now that Virat Kohli is in the team, you've got to play him. There's no two ways about it. And that'll be the biggest, not concern, but the hope that he gets back to form leading up to that World Cup. It's, there's been a lot of talk about whether he's in good form. There are other guys who've stepped in and performed. But come the World Cup, if India's 2 down at some stage in a big game, you'd want Virat Kohli out there. But for that to happen, you want him in good form as well. It's not just because he's so experienced and just
well, Pakistan will be hoping that if he's struggling, he consumes a lot of deliveries. That's what you want in T20 cricket. But I think that he's talked about the break that he's had, and that's done him good, and he's come back refreshed. He's a very